Spring is just around the corner. That means that it is getting close to the time where we're going to take action on our goals, our intentions that we've been setting for ourselves, and create this life that we desire to be living. Now, when I say spring is around the corner, it's actually still like 3 weeks away. And the energy that we find ourselves in right now is really it's a liminal energy. So what's the liminal? The liminal is the space between. We're not quite in the thick of winter anymore or at all in the thick of winter, yet we're not in spring yet. So we find ourselves in this beautiful in between portal of possibility where we can be two versions of ourselves or two versions of our energy all at the same time. So, today we're going to talk about that transition from winter to spring. If the word witch makes you feel full of power and excitement, if you love personal development but loathe boring love and light conversation, if a sexy combo of witchery and inner work piques your interest, you're in the right place. Welcome home, Magic Maker, and welcome to Expedition to Soul, the podcast brought to you by the Sisters Enchanted. Welcome into another episode of the podcast. I hope you're having a great day. I know that this time of year for me is where I really start to get excited about the warmer days coming back. I live in Connecticut where we actually just started getting snow in the last couple of weeks, which happens. February tends to, if we get snow, February is a good month for it here. Uh, but it doesn't stay long. Like it doesn't snow on and on and on here. So we get the snow and then it goes away just as quick as it came. But definitely starting to notice that the sun is setting later in the day, which is amazing because it means that there's more time to get outside and connect with nature and move our bodies and do all that fun stuff. So I love this time of year because you can feel the transition energy. And the thing about transitions is that they are these beautiful places for exploration and for receiving. So when we think about transitions or liminal spaces, you still have one foot in winter for this time of year and one foot in spring, which means that we have this invitation to really explore what was our intention for this year? What was our goal for the year? And then how are we going to take action on it? So we're in both places at once. We talk about setting intentions as a lunar inner sort of feeling. So the word intention and goal, they're actually synonyms, but we talk about lunar intentions versus solar goals. Your lunar intention is how you want to feel. And we invite everybody to start from this place of feeling because so many of us set these goals like random. You're going to save so much money, you're going to lose so much weight, you're going to learn to play the ukulele. I don't know, whatever random goal you come up with for the year. But we do it because we're trying to maybe fulfill some need or we feel like we need to meet an expectation. Where when you start from feeling, you realize that there are really infinite possibilities to allow you to feel the way you want to feel. And we take the winter time to really hibernate and cocoon and get into that feeling energy because there's not as much daylight for us to be out exploring and living and really feeling the energy of the sun to help us move forward with the way to do the things to make us feel the way we want to feel, right? So to achieve the goal part of that. The goal is what we're doing. The intention is how we want to feel. And we spend the winter really thinking, how do we want to feel? In our holistic witchery program, when we teach this part of intention setting and feeling, we also teach you how to work with the moon at the same time. And the reason for that is because the moon phases, the lunar cycle, is a perfect rhythm for creation. And our seasonal energies actually follow that same rhythm. So the new moon energy and the winter energy are very similar in that we are kind of feeling, we're pulling back and examining how do I want to feel and maybe considering what we can do to feel that way. And that's the energy that we are in right now. And we're transitioning to the point where we'd really start to take action on those goals that are attached to the feeling. So if you wanted to feel a lot of people will say, I want to feel healthy or I want to feel like financially free or something like that. That's all well and good, but what are other words you can use to describe that take off the that release you from only accomplishing one thing? So for financially free, maybe you want to feel like life is overflowing with goodness. Maybe you want to feel like you are abundant. Maybe you want to feel confident, because if you feel confident, then you will have the energy to ask for a raise or have a tough conversation about money, right? So, really playing with words to understand, how do I want to feel in a way that opens me up to more possibilities? And then when it comes to that spring energy, that's where we look, what do I do then to feel that way? What are actions I can take? What are the goals I can set and accomplish? And with spring energy, we are also connecting ourselves to our inner chakras, our energy centers. And we do that because the stories that will allow us to take action or that will keep us from moving forward and bring us into sabotage live in your chakras. So when we teach about the taking action, we teach about the chakras, because the tool can help you to do the thing, right? And it all goes hand in hand. So, spring is this time of renewal. It's this time of growth. The seeds are planted and we are watering them. We're out of hibernation. And again, we're right in that liminal space where we're moving from the winter to the spring. With the introspection of winter and those long nights and the short days, we move to that action of spring where the earth is reawakening, our energy is reawakening because we're so deeply impacted by the natural world around us. And we put energy then into tending these seeds that we have been planting in our minds and our energy during this time. So as the spring and trees awaken and plants awaken and the earth says, let's get moving, we do the same thing in our own energy. As we move into this period and we're in this transition period, consider stories that have been playing through your mind in the last couple of months as well, because it is time to shed them away. Just like when a seed sprouts, right? Like the plant sprouts out and the seed, the shell part might fall away. That's what we want to have happen for us. What stories need to be released so that we can really embrace the energy of the spring and move forward with the goals we have set for ourselves, the actions we want to take to be in alignment with the way we want to feel? What needs to shed away so that we can do that? With the rhythms around us and being in this liminal space, we can also look at these rhythms in our daily lives. So for you, look to the moon cycles, look to nature, and we have these action and then pulling back energies, action, pull back, action, pull back, action, pull back. And when you look to these rhythms, where can you look to your daily life and apply these rhythms as well? The lessons that we're seeing in nature, the lessons we learn from the moon, they can be applied to your daily life. So everything I'm saying right now, it applies on this like big year-long cycle, but also every lunar cycle, which is about a month long. And then also every single day is its own little container of a cycle. And consider for yourself, where do you set your intentions for the day and decide how you want to feel? And then where do you take action on them? And where are those liminal spaces that maybe trip you up and you've got to pay attention to when you are moving from here's how I want to feel and now I'm going to take action, so that you can do the same thing of letting go of the stories that are preventing you from taking action and keep moving forward with the way you want to feel in your life. A lot to think about there. It's easier than it sounds. When you think of it, if you've not been doing this, it can sound really overwhelming and like there's all these steps, but truly it's a rhythm, and it's a rhythm that applies. It's the same rhythm for the whole year, a whole lunar cycle, and your 24 hours in your day. The rhythm isn't different. The same exact thing. It's just the period of time changes. And so when we can realize that actually it's the same, it's just a longer or shorter period of time, that eases up some of that feeling of having to memorize it all and feeling like it's all overwhelming and very different, because it's not. But we do teach that in holistic witchery. So if you're interested in learning more about that and taking the metaphysical and combining it with these practical elements of changing the way you think and starting to reclaim your time and your energy so that you stop procrastinating on living the life you want to live out of fear of messing everything up and like disturbing the status quo and live this life that feels alive and really amazing. We have those tools in holistic witchery. So definitely check that out. In our on the blog post, we'll be sure and link up to some more ideas for you for this transition. In our Stay Magic magazine for winter this year, we had some resources for you for this transition period. So you'll want to check out the blog that goes with this podcast also, so you can dive into those. All right. Good stuff. So we're in that liminal space, remember, and liminal spaces are portals where you're not quite in one thing anymore. You're not quite in another thing. Think of a doorway. When you're standing in a doorway, you're not in one room, but you're not in the other room. Or like one of those really cool places where you can be in 3 states at once or something, or stand 1 foot in one state, 1 foot in the other, or like Canada and the US all at the same time. Those kind of cool transition areas. And that's where we are right now. So we are very much moving from how do I want to feel into how am I taking action and how I want to feel. And this is the perfect time to start to really dig in, solidify that, and put them together. When I ask people to do planning, I'll always ask, how did you want to feel this year? What was your vision for the year? How did you want to feel this lunar cycle? And then how do we apply that now to the week ahead? So we're always like stacking on this question in a big way and then a small way, the macro and the micro. We're always putting them together. And these liminal spaces is where we're really playing with it to check in. Is my emotional vocabulary, the words I'm using, matching the way I want to feel? Do I know what to do to feel that way? Are these achievable goals, or am I just trying to meet some expectation and I don't really care about doing this? And these are all these ways of thinking and checking in with ourselves that we can do during these transition time periods. All right. If you want some help with this, you know where to find us. But that's it for now. So we're in this transition, Pisces season, all the good things, fantasy versus reality. It all matches up so well. I just love it. That's what I love about this metaphysical world. All of the layers, they're so perfectly in tune with each other at all times. All right, then. On our next episode, we are going to have the wrap up of our Witching 101 series. So I'm excited to get that to you. Thank you for hanging out. And until next time, I hope that you have an enchanted rest of your day ahead. If you love the podcast, be sure to leave us a rating or a review. That helps us to get the word out about all we're doing here at the Sisters Enchanted. Thanks for being part of our community, and we'll see you in the next episode.